Everyone, welcome to another episode of CoinNewsExtra interview session. So today we'll be talking about the state of blockchain in Africa. Joining us today is a young lady who is doing amazingly well in the ecosystem. She is the chairperson, United African Blockchain Association, and also South African Eco Lead at Clabs. She is the person of Yaliwe Soko. Yaliwe, you are welcome to CoinNewsExtra.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure to have you. So today you'll be helping us to talk about the state of blockchain in Africa. You are a stakeholder in the ecosystem when it comes to Africa. You are playing a major role, so you'll be able to highlight some things that are happening in the ecosystem. But before we go straight to that topic, I will want to know briefly about you.
Okay, I thought you did the introductions, but I'll go ahead anyway. So I'm Yaliwe Soko. I'm the chairwoman of the United Africa Blockchain Association. I'm the South African ecosystems lead at Clabs working on Celo. I've been in the blockchain space for some time now. I'm actually a DevCon alumni, and I was actually crowned DevCon queen at through a DevCon scholarship in Osaka, Japan in 2019. This year alone, as I've emerged as one of the top 10 women in blockchain in Africa and one of the most influential women in blockchain across the globe. And I've also had the chance to interact with different organizations as well as educate the Reserve Bank of Mozambique on blockchain.
That's a nice background. That reminds me, you are one of the top 10 influencers doing great, women doing great in Africa when it comes to blockchain. That's a very nice one. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, moving to the topic for the day, you've been able to mention your background about when it comes to this ecosystem. What made you to pick interest in blockchain and cryptocurrency?
Mainly it was because of what the technology could actually do for Africa. But first, when I started, it wasn't about the technology because I didn't understand it, but I was trying to look for something more, right? Something that was going to make me relevant in the future. And that was way back in 2016, and because I had exposure to cryptocurrencies. So I now started to look deeper into the technology, and I fell in love with the technology. And I told myself this could actually bring a lot of change, and I want to get involved. I want to be part of that change.
Yeah, I want to get involved and you want to be part of that change. So you have been a serious advocate for blockchain. So you made mention that you entered the space around 2016. So that's about 4 years now. So how has it been? How was the ecosystem before we start talking about the current state of the ecosystem? How was it then?
I think then there was not really much about blockchain. It was really much about cryptocurrencies when I started, right? It was you having an opportunity. Some people had an opportunity to buy Bitcoin. Some had an opportunity to actually earn Bitcoin. So it was more of the cryptocurrency. Then we started seeing a lot of projects coming up and a lot of ICOs coming up. And we started seeing this evolving into more of the African players just moving from being consumers to actually looking at being part of the ecosystem and actually coming up with solutions, right? So right now I'm looking at this technology whereby the hype has died down, right? Yes, there is speculation here and there. There are people making money here and there through cryptocurrencies, but now it has actually come to the usability. It has come to the real use cases and solving real life problems with this technology. We're not there yet, but I think we've actually leapfrogged into this usability stage where everybody is thinking, what solution do we solve at this particular time?
Interesting. Africa moving from just being a consumer to creating some things in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So you have been in the ecosystem for 4 years now. What's really have changed when it comes to blockchain and cryptocurrency in Africa, and how have you really played a role in making that happen?
Okay, so like I said from the beginning, what has changed was from Africans being consumers, buying cryptocurrencies, focusing on multi-level marketing schemes, to actually saying, look, I want to build, it's either I want to build something that's going to make a difference. We've seen a lot of projects coming up, and we've seen some African projects actually being recognized at a global level. And we've also seen Africans really taking this space very seriously, from just, how would I say it? Even looking at blockchain itself as something, as a career that I can tap into, right? Without just looking at it from something that I do, a by the way thing. So we've seen a lot of interest from individuals saying, how do I really move forward from just this being a by the way thing to a career? We've also seen central banks taking an interest in the technology, and organizations taking an interest in the technology. So a lot has changed from the time it started. We've seen some form of frameworks for regulation coming into play. So it has really, really changed from where it started.
Listen, this is CoinNewsExtra interview session, and today we are talking about the state of blockchain in Africa. And joining us to talk about it is Yaliwe Soko, the chairperson United African Blockchain Association, and also a South African ecosystem lead at Clabs. So you seeing what is happening in current situation the world is into now because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So what's the actual state of cryptocurrency and blockchain in Africa?
I think right now, what I'll speak maybe in terms of my experience. So what happened is there was a shift, right? There was a shift to technology being taken very seriously. And there was a shift. I'll give you an example of just something as simple as Uber Eats, right? People could not order food because they had cash, because they had no bank account, right? Because the drivers and the company didn't want to take cash for the fear of getting infected. So there was a shift, and it brought to light the importance of technology, and it also highlighted why blockchain and maybe AI, robotics, Internet of Things would really be important for the world going forward. So looking at how things evolved, I don't think things will ever be the same. Let me be very honest with you. I think even the workplace drastically changed. There was a demand for remote skills more than there was a demand for on-site skills, because those are locked down, office buildings were closed, and those people that really depended on going to work in order to be productive or in order to earn actually lost jobs, right? But people like you and I, who have this opportunity of being in this digital era and tapping into this digital era, it opened a lot more doors for us than the doors that were open before, because there was a relevance that came with this a relevance for technology that came with the pandemic.
Yeah, interesting. That reminds me how things are happening now in the ecosystem.
Mhm.
Even when you check the crypto market, how the market is reacting. Also, people are not seeing the need for digital way of doing things, digital transformation. So,
Exactly.
lastly, Yaliwe, before we draw the curtain on this interview, how do you see the future of blockchain and cryptocurrency in Africa, maybe in 5 to 10 years to come?
Okay, I think there is, first and foremost, for Africans, I think there are opportunities out there. I'm looking at Africans innovating more, right? I'm looking at Africans looking at grassroots problems and saying, look, this is where I come from, and this is the problem I've identified, and this is the solution that I'm proposing. And this technology is going to help me because of its characteristics, right? There's accountability, there's transparency, there's efficiency, there's all these things that are falling into place. The help of cryptocurrency loans. I'm seeing a lot of blockchain jobs. So there's demand, and I'm also seeing Africans being able to play at a global scale, right? So I'm seeing a lot of movement. I'm seeing a lot of shifts in the space. So I think it's high time now we go back and start looking at the grassroots problems, because opportunities are really opening up in the space and solving those problems. They say you have to identify a need, right? Even they said the richest people in the world had to identify a need. They had to solve a problem. So I think there's a lot of problems, underlying problems, even not so big. Even where I'm coming from, let's say from my community, I could be solving a problem using cryptocurrencies and blockchain.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Yaliwe Soko, for joining us today on CoinNewsExtra interview.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure.